system's set up now, I mean, it's becoming a police state on every block. You can't walk through Penn Station without, seeing armed Marines. You're basically bringing kids up to believe that this is how life is supposed to be, and it's not. It's not freedom. It's an illusion of freedom. It's an illusion of having a choice.
We have before us the opportunity to forge, for ourselves and for future generations, a new world order. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another broadcast. You're listening to Hardcore Harry, and I am deaf to the New World Order. I notice on the stream we still have D2NWO.com on there with my little Grim Reaper guy. You don't know how hard I work to make that Grim Reaper. But, we're really not trying to direct anyone to D2NWO.com anymore. It is my emergency backup site. We are, of course, on TruthBroadcastNetwork.com, coming to you live in living color. And if you are listening anywhere else, that's great. I'm very, very happy that other people are mirroring the streams. Other people are uploading the videos. And, since the YouTube channel's been taken down, people have been coming to me saying, hey, I really need that broadcast you did Exposing Anonymous, or I really need to broadcast you did Exposing Engineered Revolutions. And so many people have all of a sudden said, hey, you know what, we notice you're gone, we notice your work is gone. But at the same time, doing a simple Google search, I found that my material is being mirrored, it has been re-uploaded, and like I said yesterday, I haven't gone viral in the sense that the mainstream media is saying, oh, look, it's gone viral. But it's out there, it is everywhere, and we are, of course, backing up files, getting them put on, I guess it's archive.org, not internetarchive.org. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I do very much thank you, the people that are helping us to get that done, and they'll be going other places as well. The point I want to make, we're not directing people to D2NWO.com anymore. That's an emergency site, and if I ever vanish, you hopefully will always find my work there. But at the same time, I haven't worked on that site in so long, I don't even remember who the web host is. So probably one of these days when they switch my credit card, you know how you get an updated credit card, and a payment doesn't go through and the site gets shut down and I don't look at it but once every 3 or 4 months, I won't even know it's gone. There are so many complexities to doing the kinds of things that we're doing as far as accounts, passwords, web hosts. I mean, it's just unbelievable, and my memory's not great, so don't rely on D2NWO.com. It's all about TruthBroadcastNetwork.com, and I am more than happy to bring other broadcasters online. In the future, I may even be a behind-the-scenes guy, just recruiting broadcasters, managing broadcasters, and I don't mean in the sense that I'm telling them what to do, but I have to explain to people, this is how you use the live stream. This is, you need more light in your face or whatever. And I'm sure I'll always hit the mic time to time when I have really important things to say. But it is a lot of work, and we are getting it done. We're very, very slowly plowing forward. That's why I had to cut down to 3 days a week. And we are going to go ahead and start today. Now, I'll give you a little bit of an update. I spoke with the woman that we had on air yesterday, and when we had her on air, I didn't know a whole lot about the homeowners associations and the amount of power that they had. Of course, I suspected they had an amount of power that they should not have, because generally when people behave in a tyrannical manner, they've got force to back that up with. While we were on air yesterday, and I'll back up a little bit. Maybe there's some who were not watching, or maybe you're seeing us on YouTube on some new channel that doesn't even exist yet. We interviewed a woman yesterday on problems that she's having with her homeowners association coming onto her land and taking down her signs. For instance, she has a Mitt Romney sign. They take it down. They literally come onto her property, take down the sign, and had somebody come up and ring the doorbell and tell her husband, you can't have this sign on your yard. Pretty unbelievable stuff for somebody that's paid an enormous amount of money for the home and the property. I mean, I can't help but liken it to the animal kingdom, where a wolf has specific territory. And it's like, this is my territory. Nobody else is allowed on my territory. And if another wolf or another pack of wolves enters that territory, his domain, they will fight. They will fight to the death. And generally, they mark their territory. You know this. And they'll actually pee on the tree. And they'll pee on the side of the tree, which is facing their territory. And that's the way. They go around the outskirts of their property. And it's like a property line. And they pee on the tree, and they're like, from this side of the tree over is mine. Nobody come this way. And if somebody does, well, then there's a fight. If I paid ridiculous amounts of money for a piece of property and a home, and some stranger comes over and rings my doorbell and is standing there with my sign that I put in my yard, that's an altercation. So anyway, as an update, I did speak with her and revealed some things that we did come up with on air yesterday, that the homeowners associations, and I don't know how many of them, maybe all of them, I don't know if it was enacted into federal law. More research needs to be done on this topic. And frankly, it is the responsibility of the people who have problems with homeowners associations, but some of them, if not all of them, do actually have the power to force foreclosure on your home, on your property. That is a very, very scary thing, and this was enacted into law specifically so that people would not or could not ignore the demands of the homeowners association. So in other words, you're going to do what the homeowners association says, or we're going to take your property. Also, there are deed restrictions on many properties, and that is also something that needs to be looked into by everyone who still has not paid off their property or who's involved in a homeowners association. See if you have deed restrictions. That's just some scary stuff, and I'm just so glad I didn't move into an area where there are homeowners association. And if I see one try to start up, I'm going to be interrogating. What do we need a homeowners association for? And if they try to make a homeowners association, I would make sure that it was written into the homeowners association that anyone can opt out of the homeowners association at any time for any reason, period. That's it. But you know what happens when you just go sign papers and you don't read them? That may be what we have here, and I will continue to cover this story. I'm sorry that at this point in time I can't give you names, I can't give you a city, and I was speaking with her today. She still has like 25, 30 political signs in her yard, so it is a protest of sorts against them telling her that she cannot have a sign in her yard, and by now I'm sure they know that she has all these signs in her yard and they haven't done anything. But I imagine they will, so we'll just see where that goes. We'll continue to follow that story and hope that it doesn't escalate. You know, I've been involved in situations in my life that tend to escalate, and you know, sometimes that's on my end, sometimes it's on the government. Usually it's the government. You know, I don't go knocking on the government's door or pounding or beating on the government's door, but they come beating on mine. And when, you know, they come beating on mine, well, that's like somebody coming onto my territory. There's an altercation. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it should go for everyone. And if everyone had an altercation, every time the government came beating on their door, guess what? They wouldn't be doing it. They wouldn't be doing it. They'd be real nice. They'd be walking up to your door, knocking nice and gentle. We would just like to speak with you about some problems we're having with the trash out on the street. We don't know where it's coming from, and we just want to find out if you might have an idea. Instead, it's, police, open up. And why is that? Because people just open a door and bend over and take it. And they've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for years, just bending over and taking it. And so when the one person says, why are you beating on my door? And if, well, come on outside, we want to have a word with you. I'm not coming outside. This is my house, I'm in my house, and I'm fine. You can go away. Your service is not required here. People need to create that confrontation. If the government comes after you, you go after the government. And it's always good to be recording, to be filming in every way that you can. I'm not going to lie, I might be in prison right now if I hadn't been recording the altercation that occurred in, I can't remember, but it was 2000 or 2005. I can't remember which one it was. Let me think for a second. 2005, I think. God, I can't remember nothing. All right, let's move on with the broadcast, since your host has no memory whatsoever. And we are going to be looking at one of the scariest things right now. For those who are new, you need to understand what most of my listeners already do. The medications are multi-purpose. Almost everything going on in this world is presented to you as help. Oh, we're just here to help you. We're just looking out for the children. Oh, your child just needs these medications so that they can feel less anxious and focus on their studies. I mean, just go on down the list. But the medications, by and large, constitute sorcery, and not just a sorcerer's potion given to one person to, for instance, make them fall in love, as is romanticized throughout all of the stories that have gone down through the ages, like the sorcerer's the good guy, he's just trying to make somebody fall in love. No, that's not what's going on. They're trying to stupefy you, they're trying to sedate you, they're trying to drug you into submission so that they can subjugate the entire population. You know, the fluoride in the water, it dumbs people down to an extent, but I think more than that, it's designed to cloud your judgment. In other words, if somebody's drinking fluoride, and they've been drinking fluoride their entire life, and I walk up to them and beat some truth into them, they can still see it. They can still understand it. They might not care as much. But when it comes to that same person looking around and noticing that something is wrong in their daily life, that's where the fluoride has the most effect. They just don't see it. Fluoride causes people to accept the conditions that they're living in, not to question things. It really is so Orwellian. You know, this time in history is like almost no other. When the Nazis put the Jews in concentration camps, they were not already medicated, fluoridated, brainwashed, and dumbed down and mind controlled by the TV. In other words, our population has